everyone, my name is Todd and I'll be facilitating this session today on the accounting program. I also look after a variety of other programs, one in public relations, information privacy, digital marketing, full stack web development. And I say that because I want to be clear that I'm actually not an instructor and I am not a content expert in accounting. So I manage the program, which requires everything from some marketing to budgeting to hiring instructors to worrying about the curriculum. And more importantly, and most importantly, I worry about the student experience. So that's really where my focus is. And if that all goes well, then I've done my job well. So that's a bit about who I am. If you have very specific content questions, then obviously I will answer them the best I can. And if I can't, I'll have to go offline and I will get those answers for you. So here's a bit about our agenda for today. I'll share a bit about the university if you're not familiar with who we are. I'll also talk about the accounting certificate. There's 4 different program kind of options. There's the online and in-person. There's the foundation program and the advanced program. So I'll sort of touch a bit on all of them just to give you a quick little understanding of how it all fits together. I will talk about the live online and the online formats, and the live online is sort of our new format that's kind of replacing the in-person because of COVID, obviously. I'll talk a bit about the CPA designation, which I assume some of you are interested in pursuing. I'll talk about the application process, and then I'll spend as much time at the very end answering all of your questions. So if you have questions along the way, certainly you can send them now. I probably won't look at them until the very end, but if you want to get off your plate, just post the question. I'll see it when I get to the that section. Okay, I want to just jump and ask you a few poll questions just to get some information on you guys, which will help me in my comments. So the first one is just want to know if people plan to study online or in person. All right, I think most people voted. Okay, so you can see from the results that it's pretty close, but a combination of online and in person, which we've converted to live online. And I'll share more about that, as I said, in a moment or two. Okay, next question. Are you a domestic student or an international student? Okay, perfect. You can see again, it's pretty much a 50-50 split, which is great. Never know how these things will end up, but that's cool. We've got a nice group split down the middle, basically. And when do you hope to begin your studies? In September, in January, or some other time? Okay, so as you can see here, there's a large number of people who want to start in September. There's some people who are January, which is great, and there's some others, which is fine too. I will sort of say, just from an enrollment standpoint, the foundation program does have some spaces left, the full-time version. The online version is fine for all programs, so no worries there. But if you're looking to study full-time at York, then the foundation program has some spaces. We've got about 70 students registered, and we can handle about 80, 85 or something like that. The advanced program, I will say, for the fall is currently full. We've had a tremendous uptake in interest, and that program for the fall is full. That's for the advanced accounting program. So if you're thinking about doing that for January, that's fine. But if you think about September, we should have a discussion because at the moment it is closed. Okay, great. Let's move on. So if you're not familiar with York, I'll just quickly say we're actually the 2nd largest in Canada. We've got lots of wonderful programs and faculties and some world-class rankings. Our business school is at Schulich is #1 in Canada and ranks very, very high in the world. We've got over 7,000 faculty and staff, over 50-something thousand students. We have a lot of students from all over the world. It's a very diverse campus, which is nice. So anyway, that's a little bit about us. Yeah, any questions about that, you can certainly go online and learn more about the university. So who are our students? So I didn't really ask this in my poll questions, but we do get a lot of students who have some experience in accounting. They've been working in accounting. Sometimes they have degrees in business. They've taken several accounting courses, which is great. We have some students who have no experience at all. Everyone has to have at least a degree, so at least everyone's usually a little more mature and not just out of high school. We have people who are changing careers. We have people looking just to get their courses done for their CPA designation. So you can see it's a pretty diverse group, and why I think that's important is because it really enhances the experience of the learner. So you're not just going to sit in class and kind of listen to your instructor and write down everything they say. It's much more you're learning from each other, you're learning from the instructor learns from you. There's lots of group work and individual work, and there's discussions and stuff. So people that have some experience can certainly share that with the others and say, hey, when I was at this company, this is what we did, this is how we did it. And if you're new to accounting, you can certainly learn from not just your instructor. So that's a bit about our students. A bit about the full-time program. So I know some of you are doing online, so you can just sort of hit pause for a second, in a sense. But basically, our full-time programs, because of COVID, in the fall, the ones that are starting in September, will begin online. What's going to happen for the second half of the program, which is the course that sort of run from January through April, they'll probably be online, but we haven't gotten confirmation of that just yet. So if many of you are international students, you're probably aware of the new IRCC, which is the Immigration something refugee sort of department for the government, IRCC. And they said that students that start in September can do their whole program online, and they will not lose any of their postgraduate work permit hours. So that's really important for our international students. So we haven't confirmed what the second half looks like, but we certainly can do it live online from your home country. So if you're in India, you don't need to come to Canada, and you can still get your postgraduate work permit when you're done. Okay. So that's how that works. If people have specific questions about that, certainly at the end you can post them, and I'll do my best to better explain that. So why should you choose York? I think there's lots of great reasons to choose York, but one of them is really we try and create programs that are meeting the needs of our students, and there are multiple delivery formats. Like I said, we've got online, we've got this new live online, which is like the in-person version. So you can find the program and the schedule that works best for you. So if you're trying to balance life and work and family and stuff, if you're a full-time student, you should be really focused on your courses. But we try and give you the flexibility to find the program that best fits your needs. We do condense our programs. So a lot of schools will have a 1.5-year long programs for their accounting for the in-person sort of version, but we've condensed them so that you can finish it within 1 year. And that's important for us because we feel that students want to get to their end goal faster, and making your courses sort of more condensed allows you to do that. It does require you to really be on top of your studies, have some really good project management skills and time management skills and all that good stuff, because yeah, it can be a little overwhelming sometimes with so much information coming at you so quickly, but really that condensed format really works well. And the other thing I'll just sort of mention, I'm not sure if this is in my slide, I kind of forget sometimes, but our programs are cohort-based. And what I mean by that is they're actually the same students that are in course 1 are the same in course 2, and course 3, and course 4. And that really helps students with just having a support network, because they are condensed and there's a lot of work coming at you. But having that sort of built-in sort of group that you kind of get to know really well and you build this community helps you really be successful. All of our courses are approved by CPA, so if that's your one thing you're trying to do is pursue your designation, then obviously you'd be able to use our courses towards that. It does not meet the PEP requirements, which you'll do after our program ends, and I'll talk more about CPA afterwards, but it does meet all the educational requirements to do your designation. Oh, I already had a whole section there I didn't see down below on the cohort. So anyway, I won't go further into that, but lots of great reasons why the cohort's a good model. So here is, for the students that are doing the foundation program, here are the 8 courses. And you'll see here there's 2 courses at the bottom, which are the business communication and the capstone course. Those 2 courses are in red because they do not, they're not part of CPA. But actually, interesting enough, they could be the 2 most important courses you take. So it doesn't matter if you're doing the foundation program, you're doing the advanced accounting program. You know, I've heard people from CPA talk about, you know, the interview process of getting jobs, and often they don't even ask you accounting questions anymore because they assume if you graduated from a program like ours, if you're sort of pursuing the CPA designation, you'll all have the same kind of knowledge of accounting and be in the same sort of playing field. Really where you differ from people in the interview process, and even when you get the job to be successful, are the soft skills. So things like communication skills and leadership skills and team management skills and problem solving skills and having empathy. Those are the things that we also try and incorporate into our program. You'll certainly get a lot of that in the business communication course, and the capstone course just sort of ties the whole program together. So those are the kinds of things that sometimes we find make you more successful in completing a program. Once you finish and try and get into the work world, are those soft skills. So just keep that in mind as you sort of think about what program is best for you. The 4 courses that I've sort of highlighted there in that little bracket, Fundamentals of Financial Accounting, Intro to Managerial Accounting, Economics and Statistics, those are the 4 prerequisites for the advanced accounting program. So if you think you want to jump to the advanced program, you would need to have these 4 courses completed either through your degree studies or whatever. If you do our foundation program, you kind of automatically get admission to our advanced program, so that's a pretty easy transition. This is the advanced program. Again, if you're following the CPA requirements, these would be considered the core classes. The accounting certificate is considered non-core, but these are the core classes. So you can see they're very much accounting focused in terms of the topics: intermediate financial accounting 1 and 2, taxation, auditing, those kinds of things. So this one has an extra course. There's 9 instead of 8. And it also has the capstone course, which ties it all together, which is not part of the CPA requirements. I should also just mention that all of our instructors are practitioners, so they're not full-time faculty on campus where they just sort of teach. All of our instructors are really tied to their field. They're aware of current trends in the field. They kind of know what's happening in the world of accounting that they can then bring back to the classroom. So very hands-on, very real life, because they can bring back real examples of things they did with their clients, where obviously sometimes faculty on campus have a bit of a disconnect with that because they don't really work. The fact that our instructors are practitioners really, I think, adds a lot of value back to the classroom and the student's experience. This is a sample of the live online schedule. So I think it's important just for you to get a sense that even though it's called live online and you're not in Canada in a classroom, the classes still meet on a very specific day of the week and time of the day. So in this example, you're taking fundamentals of accounting on Monday and Wednesday, and you're taking economics on Tuesday and Thursday. All the classes will run from 8:30 to 11:30. That's about 6 p.m. in India, if we have a lot of students from India. So if that sort of fits what you're doing, that's how that works. Each class is a 3-hour block. So your students are in class 4 days a week, and you'd be in class for the duration of your program with a very similar schedule. Sometimes they tweak it a little bit because of COVID and other things, but basically you'd be in the same time and the same days of the week for all of your courses. So it's very similar to being in class. We've got small group discussions, we've got large group discussions, you've got poll questions to engage with other students and the instructor. And actually, in fact, some people actually like the online better, one from the flexibility perspective, but also because it really gives all students a voice, where sometimes in class you got a few students who kind of monopolize the conversation. Here, more people can sort of post their questions in text, or they can say them out loud, whatever works best for them. But anyway, that's been really working quite well. I think it's worked well for students. It's worked well for instructors. Yeah, even though we had to pivot quite quickly, I think we've all done quite well. Again, especially students who have had to adapt quite a lot. So now I'll just jump to what the online is like, because I know there are certainly some people on this webinar who mentioned that they're doing the online. That's a little more flexible in terms of your time. So you only do 1 course at a time versus in the live online or the in-person version, which is 2 courses at the same time in blocks of 2. Here, obviously, when you do the work is a little more up to you. So you might on one day read some textbook or some articles, you may post the discussions, you may watch some videos. In the live version, you're really sort of spending those 3 hours of in class with your class at that time in that sort of face-to-face sort of online environment. Where here, it's not self-study. I want to be very clear about that. There's certainly an instructor who's facilitating your learning and available to answer questions, interacting with you, and sharing information and stuff. But there's more flexibility around. You don't need to be anywhere at a specific time to interact with your classmates and your instructor. So that's kind of how that works. But there are very specific deadlines each week that you have to complete. Again, just a matter of when you do them is up to you. So anyway, just a little bit of comparison between the two. So they're both facilitated by instructors. They both require, 8 to 10 hours or 12 hours of sort of effort. As I said, one's 2 courses at a time, one is 1 course. The in-person is obviously faster to complete because it's more condensed. The online usually are people who are balancing life and work and family and really can't commit as much time, especially during the day for their coursework. Both have assignments, both have activities and things that you have to sort of complete. The in-person is a larger classroom than the online, but online is really catching up actually. So these numbers may be slightly outdated. I think for the full-time, I've got about 30 students starting in the fall for online, and we'll have about 35 to 40 in the in-person version. And as I said, the in-person, there are specific times that you meet with your instructor and your classmates, and the online is asynchronous, which means not live. In terms of the application process, so if you want to apply to our programs, you do need a university degree or a 3-year college diploma. We do require a minimum of IELTS of 6.0, and they've had some challenges with because of COVID, so we accept also other tests, but Duolingo seems to be the other one that's quite popular these days, and it's a 104 is equivalent to a 6.0. That's sort of what we use. It is a pretty competitive process, especially the online, sorry, not the online, but the advanced program. Sometimes the foundation is competitive as well. It just depends on the number of applications I get. So I do look at everyone's application in terms of their grades, their IELTS scores if you're international students, all that good stuff. So just be aware that not everybody gets in. For the online, there is no application for the foundation program. You do need one for the advanced program, more so because those 4 prerequisite courses I mentioned. But keep in mind, for the online foundation program, even though there's no application, you do need to have a degree for your CPA designation and to apply to our advanced accounting program. So if you don't have one, we should just have a little conversation about that because I wouldn't want to set you up for failure. Students who think about doing their CPA, certainly we have a lot of students who do that. So a lot of times they'll do our first program, which is the certificate in accounting, which I often call our foundation program. Then you move to the advanced program. Then you move to the CPA PEP modules or the common exam, which is done outside of our program. And all throughout that, you can be working towards your work experience, which I think you need 30 months of work experience to become a CPA. So it's quite the journey. Definitely not easy to get to the very end, but once you do, you really set yourself up for a lot of success career-wise for sure. And there are the balloons to celebrate. You've got your CPA designation. Okay, so the last thing I wanted to just show you was just our website. Again, a lot of you may have already been there, but I'll show you anyway. I think everyone should be on my page. Okay. So here's the accounting page. If you sort of go up here to accounting, you can see that there's the 4 different options of online or in-person and the foundation versus the advanced. Each page looks very similar to this. I'll click on just the foundation program as the example. So here, there's lots of information you can scroll through. I won't stop anywhere. I'll just sort of show you that there's lots of videos and there's information. There's the chart we just looked at. There's sort of some testimonial. If you scroll to the very, very bottom, you'll sort of see there's the policy page, there's instructors, or different things you might want to just sort of peruse a bit more. Sorry, I'm going to go back to the top. Sorry if I'm getting people nauseous with my zipping around. If you click on the enroll button, so here you go, you can click on the enroll button, you can click on the course itself. This will give you the times and the details of the course, a little description. Oh, there's no descriptions, but a little just the times and things, so just be aware of that. And again, these are application programs, so you have to apply first. I review it, and then I'll obviously accept or not accept people based on if they meet the qualifications. Okay. So that's really all I wanted to share today with everybody. I see there was a couple of questions that I got posted while the video was running. I kind of looked at it. So I am happy to stay on as long as people need. I will answer all the questions. But that's all I wanted to share with you today about our program, just to give you some more insights. If you're still trying to make a decision if this is the right program for you, if you've already applied and you're enrolled, that's awesome. I'm happy to answer all of your questions. Okay. All right, there's quite a few here, so bear with me as I go through them all one by one. Oh, sorry, before I get to the questions, I'll just leave this slide up here. This is like our contact page, so if you want to write down these contact emails, you can certainly reach out to them. If you have questions or anything, they can certainly best help you. Okay, Arshia is asking, what about the full-time program for January? I'm not sure exactly what that is in reference to, but yeah, that program is already up on the website. You can enroll in that, you can apply to that program, then I'll review it. And in terms of the format, at this point, it's hard to say with Health Canada what they'll do. We certainly follow their guidelines on what's allowed. I don't think the IRCC document that recently came out spoke to January. It only ran through September. So it could run in person. It could run online. We're assuming it's going to be live online, but we just don't know in terms of what that'll be because we're still waiting on guidelines. And it's really to see how the fall goes because there's lots of unknowns of what will happen once everyone's back on campus or what have you. Okay, so Rita's asking, if I start the program online, will I qualify for the postgraduate work permit? Yes, according to IRCC, students can do the online version of the program through the fall, starting in the fall, I should say, like starting in September, and you would not lose any hours towards your postgraduate work permit. So you can go on the website. I think even on our website, we may actually have some information about that, but you can certainly go to the IRCC and find the information where it speaks to that. But yeah, that's that will not impact you if you're studying online, which is nice as an international student. So Rita's asking about the tuition fee. Oh, just on that page, and you may have seen it, but I think for an international student, it's about $17,000 of tuition fees. Obviously, if it's live online, you don't have to worry about being in Canada, where you have to worry about housing and all those good things and travel. You should probably budget around $150 to $200 per course for books and textbooks and course materials and stuff. So yeah, definitely factor that in with your when you're budgeting. Jaslene's asking, I'm a chartered accountant from India. Can I take up this course? Yeah, that's an interesting question because it's your decision, right? If you've already taken accounting, why would you want to repeat all of the same courses? So maybe this program is not best for you. If your goal is to become a CPA, then I would reach out to CPA and say, hey, I took all these courses. They'll review your courses. They'll tell you which ones they can provide some transfer credit for. And maybe you don't need to do a whole program. Maybe you only need to do a handful of courses. But yeah, if you already have a background in accounting, you certainly wouldn't want to spend your time and hard-earned money taking courses you've repeated. I understand people are motivated by postgraduate work permits and being in Canada and all that good stuff, which I get. But yeah, if you've already done all these courses, you'd have to really make a good argument for why you think it's best for you to kind of do it again. Iman is asking, is there any difference in the credential between in-person and online? And the answer is absolutely not. So it doesn't mention the format in the certificate or in the credential. It just says you completed the postgraduate certificate in accounting. So no one ever actually even know which format you completed the program in. Nadia was asking, are there any updated funding options? Yeah, you're on our website. We did have some special bursaries and some COVID kind of options, but I don't think that's available for students in the winter. Our programs are not eligible for OSAP. So in terms of funding, you do need to have the funds to pay for the program. I know we've been a little more flexible with payment plans and students who are having trouble because of COVID, making the payments in full before the program begins. So you may want to reach out to the registration team and kind of talk to them about different options for payment plans. So yeah, that's my information on that. Sneha's asking, how soon can I finish the advanced accounting program before starting the CPA PEP? Well, that's a good question. I'm not sure the answer to that. I think it's right as soon as you want. I would reach out to CPA directly and kind of ask them that question because they're really responsible for the CPA components, and I wouldn't want to give you the wrong information. Pooja's asking about job placement opportunities and stuff. Yeah, honestly, we don't really have a really good infrastructure. I know we've been talking internally about having more support for students around careers and job skills and resume writing and interviews. And I know we're looking into different things, but at the moment, we don't have a School of Continuing Studies career center. There are certain things on campus you can access, in terms of workshops from the university's sort of career center, but I don't think you get access to the job boards. So yeah, you should definitely be aware of that. EO is asking, do we have any exams in the foundations of accounting? If we do, when are they done? Yeah, so with our exams, we basically will have, even if the program's online, which both options are either live online or fully online, like asynchronous online. They do have exams and assignments and projects and those kinds of things. We've been trying to, you don't need to come anywhere to take the exam. There's no testing center you need to go sit at. We do them sort of where we sometimes will have multiple versions of the exams. So students are, for academic integrity reasons, you can still take the exam with at the same time as somebody, but you're getting different questions and all that good stuff. So yeah, most of the stuff is done online in your home. So yeah, we're just trying to be as flexible and accommodating with that because of COVID and the circumstances. Great questions, guys. Thanks. Lots of questions. I got lots more to go through. Ephraim's asking, is the postgraduate certificate in accounting, advanced accounting, equivalent to a BCom honors in accounting from York in terms of, in respect to the CPA pathway? Yeah, totally. I mean, obviously a degree, you can't compare a degree to a certificate, but obviously you probably already have a degree, so that's not an issue. But the courses that are approved for our programs are the same courses that are being approved for the undergraduate program to fulfill the CPA requirements. So yeah, so no different there at all. Those courses are all equivalent and cheaper to go through our program than a degree, I suppose. So Bilal is asking, can I still apply for the online accounting program? Yeah, for the online accounting program, there's no application process, so you literally just have to register. So that's straight away easy enough to do. In terms of the Masters of Accounting at York, that's a little bit trickier because Schulich and the LAPS, liberal arts faculty, they don't allow our students to take their programs. So they require LAPS, which is like liberal arts faculty, they require the students to actually be LAPS students. In Schulich, also, for some weird reason, they don't accept our courses, so you have to repeat our courses in the master's program, which really doesn't make the most sense for you from a time perspective and money perspective. So there may be other master's programs out there that are better suited for you, but the ones at York, sort of strange, but they don't work as well for you with our programs. Neha's asking, how can I build a network for jobs in Canada if there are no classrooms starting in January? Yeah, I mean, that goes back to just, you taking the initiative and going on to LinkedIn. We're just actually launched, this is interesting, I haven't really shared this with many people, but we just launched something called 10,000 Coffees, which is actually an initiative by RBC, the bank, Royal Bank of Canada. And it's basically interesting. It's this platform where all these different people from the community, alumni, our faculty, our instructors, whoever, are there and available for you as a student to meet with virtually, to have a coffee, right? And that's where you can meet people, you can interact with people, you can make those connections, and it just got launched. So I think it's now on our website, some more information about that. But it's called 10,000 Coffees, and it really is going to, I think, be a real game changer that will have access to all these amazing industry folks that are going to be available to just our students to sort of interact with and build that network. So super cool. When we literally just launched it, I'm not sure anybody's actually even done it yet because it's so new. So EO is just asking, once you finish the foundation and apply for the accounting, will you be accepted? Like 99.9%, unless you've done really poorly. But yeah, we do give sort of priority to our own students who have done one program and then move into the next. So no problems there. Pooja's asking, do both the certificates of accounting and advanced accounting provide exemptions for CPA PEP exam? No. So our courses fulfill the educational requirements for CPA, but the PEP modules, which are done after you finish your coursework, are different, and our courses don't align with those. So those are separate courses you must take through CPA or sometimes a master's program. So AO is asking, if the IRCC does not allow the student to return to Canada till the end of the program, what is the chance of completing the program in 8 months? I'm not sure I understand the question exactly, but Yeah, if you take the program live online and the whole thing is done from your home country, and then when that's done, you apply for your postgraduate work permit, and then they allow you to enter the country. Again, we don't control that. That's the immigration folks. Then, yeah, you'd be all set to start your working part of your interests. So I think I answered your question there, AO. If not, maybe rewrite it, but I think I did. Okay, guys, thank you very, very much, everybody, for all of your time and your questions. And yeah, if you have more questions, send them to David or send them to our registration team, and they would be happy to help you. All right, guys, stay healthy and enjoy the rest of the day. Bye.